Woo! This is me, Makeupmobster. I'm trying to be a real YouTuber, so give me some sympathy and subscribe, because I'm trying to be a real YouTuber here. You guys know Halloween is kind of a big deal in my house. I really, really love Halloween. For you guys that don't know, I do a lot of Halloween kind of DIY stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys basically how to make a monster. I'm gonna show you guys one of the monsters that I've made in the past. All right, so this is my first monster that I ever made. My husband and I, we went to a Halloween party a few years back, and he insisted on wearing this mask. You know, he picked it out, and that was fine. I was Medusa that year, and I'll insert the picture because it was pretty awesome. But anyway, when he spent so much money on this mask, and it came with the gloves, and as you guys can see, you know, what do you do with these things afterwards? You know, they're just gonna sit around or get thrown in some type of storage box and never get used again. So I decided to use them to make this guy. Pretty simple. It's really basic. The construction here, what I did, and I'm gonna show you guys this, his arms are really made of this foam with a piece of wire in the center. There's a hanger behind him, which is actually hanging him up. And then if you look under here, this is the meat and potato. Okay, I'm not really quite sure what happened here, but my camera must have turned off and stopped filming and I didn't realize it. So just to explain, this is basically, I took a pillow, I wrapped it up in a garbage bag with a hanger. I poked a hole through so the hanger, you know, could go through the top and serve as the shoulders. And then I put the arms through, basically just a wire through the top. And then I cut up an old bed sheet and some creepy fabric that I bought from Walmart or Joann's or one of those places. And that was pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty simple construction. And so I'm going to show you guys how to make your own. But first, check out this picture I just found of when I first made it. Look at my son's face. He was terrified of it. Okay, so to show off, I'm just going to show you guys the inspiration picture, which I will insert right here. And hopefully you guys will gain an understanding of what I'm trying to do now. Obviously, I can't really replicate this whole scene right here. You got the two skeletons and they look like they're kind of floating. I want to replicate the concept of that, okay? The construction of these things is so simplistic, yet they're so goddamn expensive. Now, this one that I'm showing you guys is actually animated, so it's going to be obviously a lot of money. But I was like, you know, it would be a fun project to do on YouTube. Ooh. Oh, how you doing? Alright, so you guys got the basic idea of what these things are made out of and how they look. I'm going to show you guys some of the material. So, alright, what I got so far is I bought this bag of bones from Walmart. $10. You know, you get the whole thing. And I'm probably only going to be utilizing the hands and the skull part of this. Then I went to I believe Joann's, and Joann's is great to get material from. Obviously I don't have any like fancy material stores around, so I bought this. You know, this is basically like that kind of cheesecloth material. All right, I bought some black fabric. I got 2 yards of black fabric. I don't know what kind it is. I wish I could tell you guys, but it was cheap. And then in order to hold this guy up, okay, I bought these chains, and if you guys look at the other pictures that I shared, that's kind of how they disguised and make the guy look like he's floating behind the gravesite. So I'm going to try these. So what I need now to really get this thing going, I have some wire. I'm going to need to stop at Home Depot, grab some of that foam. I know I bought some last year because this guy... Why is my camera? Hello? Can we focus? Thanks. That was weird. My camera just didn't want to focus. Okay. I also bought this a while ago. I had it kind of laying around. This is a really, I found this at Home Depot. It's a really thick wire. Kind of hard to cut, but it's kind of a heavy duty wire. So that's going to really help to bend the arms, you know, and stabilize that. I thought I bought that insulation, that pipe insulation, but right now all I have is this really thin one. I would like to get a little bit thicker, maybe about like 2 inches. So we're gonna stop at Home Depot and get that. And then I also have these things. Now this is integral to holding these things in place. I'm lucky my husband's a steam fitter, so he works in the industry, and he gets these for me from the job site, really. Threaded rod, and so this is going to be what holds our guy up, okay? So this is important. They do sell these at Home Depot. They can be a little bit pricey, but you know, you might have something similar laying around your house if you got a husband. We're gonna take a ride over to Home Depot. One thing that I also need is his body. I need something to construct the body, basically, which is going to serve as a base for us. I was going to use foam. I have this kind. This stuff I'm not really sure if I want to use. I'll see if I can find something better. So let's go take a ride to Home Depot. Okay, we're at Home Depot. Let's go. Oh, Christmas is out. Halloween. Christmas isn't yet. Let's see what they got left. Cool. Look at these. Wow. Nice quality. Wait a second. These are the guys I'm trying to replicate. No way. That's them. Holy shit. Look at that. Oh, he's got a cane. $18. Wow.
Tonight is the night to raise the dead. Raise the dead. To take part in the haunting of all who dare to venture out. A shivering fright.
These are the guys.
The bastard.
Those guys are so cool. I wish I was rich. This is it. Yes. This is what we need. Perfect. This is exactly what we need. This is hell. Having to wear these masks, I can't take it. All right, we're in the garage, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do. I kind of switched some things up, so I'm gonna show you guys. I went to Michael's today, and I found this really cool skeleton head. So we got this guy. I kind of like this guy just a little better, the way his jaw moves. And I noticed there was already a hole right there, which is gonna work in our favor. We got some foam. This is foam pipe insulation. Costs about, I don't know, $5 at Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever you want to go. What we have to do is we have to create a body, basically. Not even a body, some shoulders. We need that basic structure first. I had these. Let's do a little, size comparison. The skull is pretty much the size of a human skull, right? Same size as my head. And I think they need to be a little wider. So I have 2 loose bricks. I don't know where they went. So I had a package of these, right? And now we put all 4 of these foam. These are the dry foam. I think if we put all 4 of these together, we're gonna get something that kind of resembles shoulders that are a good width. So I don't know if I should cut this, but this is that kind of foam you could kind of squish in. So I'm just gonna kind of maybe squish it in a little on the edges here, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a rounder shape, not so blocky looking. It's not really going to matter once we get this thing put together. So we got this, we got this. Oh boy, that's making a mess. This stuff's a little messy, so just be wary of that. I'm just kind of molding it a little bit just to give it not such a sharp corner, because our shoulders aren't that sharp. I'm not even gonna take this out of the package, okay? So what we need to do is we need to connect these, okay? So I think what I'm going to do is actually just wrap them in a plastic bag, a garbage bag, and just to hold them together, and then I'm gonna tape around that bag. Let me show you guys the rest of the stuff that I got here. These I found today. I had quite a few different sets of hands, and I'll show you guys. I had these from last year, but these are kind of hollow, not as strong. I found these in Walmart today, and they happen to have both right and left hands, which was great. These are a little more sturdy and probably a little better for the purposes that I want to use them for. So I think I'm going to go with these hands. And so what we have to do now is basically just construct a bust, if you will, from here up, and give it some arms and use the wires. We're gonna get going with that. First things first, I want to make sure we gotta kind of stick this all together. I'm gonna leave this in the package. There's no need for us to really take it out right now. They do sell packs of 4, I believe, so you know, if you you might be able to actually avoid this step altogether. I just have to take this extra step to kind of construct it, but you want a good, sturdy, durable foam. I got some black duct tape. Now duct tape's gonna be our best buddy in this project. I'm gonna take a rather large piece of duct tape, and I'm going to start off with one of these. Now again, this step could probably be skipped for the most part. Well, you know what? The duct tape might give it a little bit more reinforcement. Maybe wrap it around a few times. Now this foam is fragile, so you want to be careful. Alright, I think it'll give it the chew around. Now this part doesn't need to be very pretty because, oh lord, it's all over me. Cut this. Wow, this stuff is falling apart. And I'm a mess. I'm a mess, but that's the fun of DIY. So we got them connected. I think what I'm going to do to cut down on some of the mess here is I got myself a little garbage baggie. And I'm just gonna wrap this in the garbage bag so that we don't have to deal with the mess that it's going to create. Alright, we got ourselves some shoulders. So the next step here is gonna be attaching the limbs. I'm going to be cutting a thick gauge wire such as the one I will be cutting. Not this. This is my phone charger. I would definitely suggest getting yourself a pair of these. These are Stanley. They're basically just nippers, but they're really good for cutting wires. I trim zip ties with this because, you know, I love zip ties. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys. Let me just plug my phone in. There's a lot of crickets in here. Where did I put the wire? There it is. Alright, so I'm going to, oh my life. Dude, you serious? There's a cricket right there, like a giant one. Come on. Come on. Just go. Why are you in here?
Hello, Liana. Play with me.
There's nothing in here for you, Mr. Cricket. Alright, we might have to shut down operations for tonight. So I had to get out of Cricketville over there, so here I am inside on my couch doing this. I'm containing this in a bag just because I don't want it to make a mess. This green foam could be a little messy. I mean, you could use any foam that you want. I am just using this because I have it and it's available to me. So I'm just gonna tape this bag kind of closed so we don't get green foam crap all over the place, and wrapping it around to secure the foam crumbs in here. So we'll just cut that off. I'm gonna go around the other way just to kind of get this down. It'll also kind of help add a little structure to the foam so that, you know, it doesn't fall apart. I'm just gonna go like this. Yo, I got bricks of cocaine. Doesn't really matter too much what this looks like because we're not gonna see it, so trying to get some tape around it just to kind of tape down these edges here. And again, it doesn't really matter too much what it looks like. Alright, let's get this one edge here. There we go. That's good enough. I'm gonna get my scissors. Now, because I'm trying to make this stand up by the arm, I want this to have a lot of want this to have a lot of stability, so I'm gonna try to feed the wire through this whole thing. If I can't, we'll have to cross that road when we get there. Let's see if we could get it clear across to the other side. Nope, this is not gonna be easy. No, this is the unfortunate part about using wire. What I'm going to get right now to try to straighten this out, let me go grab a tool and I'll be right back. All right, so I grabbed a pair of these. They're kind of like clamps. I don't know if everybody would have these lying around. They're kind of made for, I believe, bending sheet metal. But if you don't have a pair of these, you know, just try to, I guess, get the wire as straight as you can on your own. So I just basically continued messing with it to straighten it out. If you don't have the sheet metal pliers, just use your hands or regular pliers. I grabbed a straw to kind of use as a guide to keep the wire straight, and I just fed the wire through it. So you guys will see I'm just kind of feeding the wire through it to just make sure it goes straight across. This way it's not bending and, you know, going all over the place. Out here. Oh, there we go. So I just used a straw to feed this through to kind of keep the wire straight. And there we go. We got ourselves some arms. So there we go. We got some arms, and let's attach the head. Okay, so as you guys will see later on in this process, I'll realize that the arms are not really strong enough. To be honest with you guys, I would probably feed through at least 3 pieces of this wire together to make the arms a little bit stronger, because I did have a little bit of trouble later on trying to use the arms to hold it up. Now, if you're not making this the same exact way I am, where the arms are basically what's holding it up to make it look floating, then you could just get away with 1 piece of wire and that should be more than enough. But in this case, I was trying to make the guy look like he was floating from his arms, so it was, you know, a little bit more difficult. I needed a little more support. Another thing I would do is I would add some glue into the hole where the arms are feeding through, just to make it a little bit more secure. So you guys will see I had a little trouble with this. Again, I'm just gonna take a small length of this stuff here, straighten it out as much as I can. Just gonna cut it. This wire is very hard to cut. You know, it takes a little bit of pressure. The skull that I bought from the, I believe it was Michael's. It was Michael's. I just bought it yesterday. It has a hole in it already. Obviously, if you didn't, you could drill one or poke one through with, you know, something, depending on what you're using. I think I'm gonna take a little piece of tape and just kind of thicken it up a little bit so it's not wobbly on the structure there. So I'm gonna wrap it around, starting like an inch down, and you'll see why I'm doing that. Just to give it a little bit of thickness so that it fits in the hole, because the wire is obviously a little thinner than the hole, and I want it to be able to kind of sit on something kind of stop it. I'm gonna take these pliers and just kind of bend the end a little bit so that when I feed it in, it has like something to hold so that it doesn't fall off. And I'm just feeding it through the hole, okay? Pushing it in. And I just want it to have some stability. You see now it's a little more stable. It's not bobbling all around, you know, on the wire. I think that should be pretty good. And so we're gonna take our body. He's not gonna have a neck because, you know, why does he need a neck? I actually decided to get my hot glue gun. In the meantime, let's get his hands attached. So I told you guys I bought these lovely hands from Hands Up, Baby Hands Up, Walmart yesterday. And I need to figure out, figure out a way to attach them to his wire arms. So what I'm gonna do here is get me my handy dandy duct tape. You just sit there, okay, friend? We're waiting for your hot glue gun to heat up. Here's my tape. My cushion's coming off, hold on. Okay, so I'm just gonna take myself a little again, a little stretch of duct tape here. I think it's good. And I'm going to wrap it around the end here just to give ourselves a little bit of a base. Something to stick onto. All right. And then I'm going to attach the hand like that. Just basically gonna wrap black duct tape around it. And that's how we're gonna hold the hand on, hopefully. Let's see if that works. I'm gonna grab another piece and just, whoa! Sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, he lost his head. So I'm just gonna obviously continue wrapping this around this little piece here. I'm using black. Obviously, I purposely bought black. I mean, you could obviously use whatever color you prefer. If you want to use duct tape with little birdies on it, go for it. But I just figured it'll hide better, you know. That feels pretty damn sturdy. So we got left hand attached. This is gonna basically be supporting the whole body. I might wanna add another piece of wire, to be honest with you guys. I actually do suggest adding maybe 2 or 3 more pieces of wire, maybe taping them together, and also putting some glue in the hole where, you know, the wire went through to kind of hold it in place, as I said earlier. One left hand, and we got the right hand right here. So we're just gonna cut the little zip tie thing off. Just do the same thing with the other hand. We're gonna take a piece of duct tape, wrap it around, just like I did with the other one. And just get that attached like that. Okay, and then let me wrap a little extra around there. I definitely think that you need to make sure you have a really strong base on the arms if you want to make it look like it's floating, as I was trying to do. You know, this is going to be the support, the arms, and I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that because I might need a little extra wire to stick through there. I think actually I might do that now just to give it a little extra support. Okay, so I basically did the same exact thing here. I just cut myself a piece of wire, straightened it out as best as I could get it, and then I just started to feed it through the body. My battery died as I was feeding it back through over here. Sorry about that. I don't know what kind of voodoo I did to get it to go through that first time, but that was not easy. I got it as good as I can. I mean, it's not perfect, but at least it's a little more stability. So I'm gonna just tape it again, and now it won't hopefully spin as it was once I tape them together. Probably a little difficult to see what I'm doing here, but I kind of just twisted the wires together to just kind of give it a little more strength. And of course, I did the same thing on the other side. All right, I feel like that's just gonna give it a little bit more strength, you know? And then I'm just gonna trim the excess off with this, just like I did the last time. So, oh, this stuff's fun to cut. I'm just gonna grab a little more tape here, and I put yet more duct tape on the wrists. Okay, I guess I just wrapped it around just like I did with the other pieces, and yeah, I know this is real exciting, right guys? Got that. I think that feels a little bit more sturdy to hold this up, and so it won't spin around in the thing when I put the head on, because the head is going to weigh it down a bit. Grab a little more tape here. And I'm going to just tape the shoulders up here, well, the wire where it is close to the body, just to give it a little reinforcement there. And so it doesn't like pull through, or I don't know. Put a little there, a little bit on the other side. And again, I'm just wrapping it around at the end here. I'm not really sure if this is doing anything necessarily, but hey, it's making me feel better. All right, so now we got our little foam piece, and we are going to open it up and kind of cut it down, I guess, to there. Put the little arm here, and we're gonna feed it into here. All right. this is exactly what they use. I mean, if you go to Party City and you look at their monsters that they have, this is what they use. So I think I have a little, trim off a little bit of this at the top here. And once again, guys, guess what we're gonna use to seal this? Did you guess? Yeah, duct tape. This, and just kind of wrap it around here before I cut it. So I just wrapped it around the ends there. And we shall do the same thing on this side. Okay, so I basically just did the same exact thing to the other arm. I just wrapped the foam around and then took 2 pieces of tape, sealed the ends, and that's it. And I'm just gonna add another little piece just to the middle so the split doesn't split open. And that we don't lose our wire. And now we have fully bendable arms. And now it is time to put our head. I put some glue down there just to give us a little more stability. And I'm going to poke him in over here. Little dot of glue, again, just to maybe glue him down to the thing, the foam. Okay, I made a big mistake here gluing down the head because I had to end up taking it back off, as you guys are gonna see. So do not glue the head just yet. Just place it, you know, figure out where you're going to put it. And maybe just mark it off so you know where it will be. I don't know, I don't think he really needs a neck because you guys will see, I'm gonna be giving him a hood. Okay, so this is pretty much right here now is the body. I'm done with the body part. This is our main structure. So next, what we have to do is we're gonna go grab our fabric and we're going to make him a little hooded costume. So you sit there, buddy. Let's go get our fabric and I'll be right back. So the next part is going to be making the fabric here. So I just realized I probably shouldn't have glued his head right about now, but so we're gonna have to get that off and we'll have to glue it back. Ooh, watch me, watch me. All right, so we're gonna remove his head right now. I shouldn't have glued that in. And I got this black fabric. I showed you guys this. The guys that I saw in the store, they had basically like a sewn, you know, thing with actual sleeves, and that whole deal, I can't sew to save my life. So I'm trying to do this in a way where I don't have to sew. So right now, I think the best course of action is going to be draping the fabric over, kind of like I did with the other guy that I made, and just measuring out in that sense. I think I want it a little longer, so I just pull this back. I bought enough fabric just in case I screwed up or whatever. 2 yards. This was a cheap fabric. So the beauty of this, right, is that we don't have to make it look really perfect, or you know what I'm saying? It's the more tattered, the better. So I just kind of draped it over his body, which is beautiful all the way. You know, I'm gonna leave a little extra so that I could kind of cut it up and do what I gotta do. So I think that's about good. So I'm left-handed and cutting fabric is not easy for me, so bear with me. So I'm just gonna go straight across. Obviously, I don't care about making it look pretty. I'm just trying to trim it here. And that extra fabric I'm going to use as a hood. Okay. Right, that looks pretty good. This is when his head's gonna come in handy. Just try to poke that through right there just to hold it on a little bit. The other guy that I made, I simply took the hood and basically draped it over like that, which, you know, would work in this instance too. So I think for this guy here, I'm going to use this this gray kind of cheesecloth fabric here, but I just kind of want to lay it all out first. So let me take this off. Hold on. This is a tablecloth. They sell these everywhere. You could get them at any fabric store during Halloween season. So I'm gonna open it up just like we did with the other one here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna overlay it. Kind of balance it out, make sure we're even from front to back. I kind of want this piece to be a little bit shorter actually, so I think I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna trim off a little bit in the back. The more shredded and tattered it looks, the better. So we'll just cut that off over here. Just trimming the excess off. Now, we need the head back over here. Okay, so from this point on, I was basically just kind of messing around with it and laying things out to see how I liked it. I cannot sew like I told you guys earlier, and so I was trying to see different ways that the hood would look good. And I'm going to bring you guys outside now and hang this up so we can trim the fabric and make it look good. So I just kind of set them up on the ladder over here just to have them hang from somewhere so I could trim up and finish up what we were doing. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. I just took my scissors and I was, just basically cutting into the fabric, really just cutting slices in it, cutting up, cutting down, just trying to make it look really worn out and, beat up because, we want to make it look like he's been through hell and he's from hell, So that's basically all I was doing. In a minute here, you're going to see I zoomed in just a little closer. I did the same thing for the fabric underneath the that gauze material that I had, or the cheesecloth rather, whatever you want to call it, material that I had to start off with. That material already had some holes in it, so I was just, cutting it, making it kind of look jagged and rough on the edges. Really simple. I mean, not too much here to say, but you just got to go through it until it looks how you want it to look. Okay, so once I got, to the point where I was satisfied with the way the fabric looked, I put his head back on and I decided to start working on the hood, just placing it and seeing how I liked the way it looked. I watched a tutorial online that showed you a way to do it where it looks like it's attached. It's a no-sew method. I could put a link in the description for anybody who's interested. I kind of took it and made it look almost like it was like a cape hood. And then I tacked it in with these floral tacks, which I will show you guys. You could buy these at Michael's. They're about $3 for a pack of 25 or 50 or something like that. And I basically just stuck those through the fabric. And then after that, I obviously got my hot glue gun and I just started to glue everything down to make sure that it wasn't going to go anywhere or slide off his head. So, that was pretty much it with the hood. And then I took an extra piece of that cheesecloth and I just kind of plopped it over. It was like a little scrap that I grabbed from the ground that I had cut off, and I just kind of plopped that over. And, the creepier, the better. That's my philosophy when it comes to these things. And right here, I just showed you guys the back, how I made it look. It's kind of like a little cape draping down. And I just kind of left it like that. I think I cut up some of the edges just to make it look a little roughed up. But I want to finish this up and show you guys how I'm going to do this. Okay, I clearly forgot to explain to you guys exactly what was in my hand here. But these are things that you could buy at Home Depot. It's basically a threaded rod, right? And then it's a pipe hanger. That's actually a thing that they hang from the ceiling, and they screw, the pipe goes through the hole at the end. Right there where I'm touching. So I'm going to use that as the supports for his arms. Okay, so this is super easy. I apologize to you guys that I didn't show you closer up, but the little circle part has two screws on each side. So you could hand loosen it initially, and then, you're going to want to use a screwdriver to squeeze it back together. So I put those around his arms. So yeah, I just screwed those in on both sides, made sure they were secure. Now, when I did this and I tested it the first time, it wasn't holding the thing up at all. It kept kind of falling back because, I don't think I had enough wire, that was strong enough to hold up the styrofoam, the head, and then all the clothing, the cape and everything like that. So what I did afterwards, after adjusting it a little bit, was I moved these a little bit further back onto like the arms so that the part they were going around wasn't the hand, but more so the arm, like pretty much between the elbow, we'll say, and the hand. And so that helped me get a little bit more stability. Another thing I did was I taped the arms down at the sides to the body. I wrapped tape around it because that gave it a little bit more reinforcement, I guess you could say. So just like with anything else, if you're making something, you know, there's always going to be adjustments that have to be made so that you can get things to work the way you want it or whatever. So I'm going to show you guys now what I'm planning to do with this threaded rod that's going to screw into the little handcuff looking thing on his wrist. I bought these chains from, I believe, Party City, or could have been Target. I'm not Target, Walmart. Could have been Walmart or one of them, but that's how I'm disguising the two poles. And you guys will see when it's all done. This will all make sense, I promise. So I'm just going to show you guys how I'm going to put that together. Basically what I did is I just had some black small zip ties. You could, again, find these at anywhere. Home Depot, Walmart probably sells them, Harbor Freight, any store that you could buy tools or that has a hardware section. And that's how I'm going to attach the chains. You know, I went down maybe every, I don't know, 5 or so links and, you know, just pulled it tight to the pole. And that was about it. Also, the one in the store only had one chain, but again, since I was like kind of worried about the stability issues and the arms being able to support the rest of the body, I decided to do 2 poles and one in each hand to, you know, give it a little bit more of a sturdy base. So all I had left to do really was attach the other one to the other arm, just like I did the first one. And then I'm going to show you guys how I made this kind of base to keep it sturdy. Okay, and so we're getting closer and closer to finishing this thing. The only thing I really had left to do was to, you know, attach the other arm, put the chain on the other steel rod, which again, you could buy at Home Depot, or I'm pretty sure Lowe's would sell, you know, something very similar to in their store. You just want something that's going to be super sturdy and solid. I'm sure, you know, you could figure out a way to use a pipe or something to that effect. Okay, guys, so it was actually nighttime by the time I got this all done because I had to run out. I had to get dinner. I actually ended up buying different clamps to go around the arms. I wanted ones that were a little bit bigger because I realized that I had to push them back a little bit further on the arm in order to, you know, just give it better leverage. Also, what I'm showing you guys here is how I duct taped the whole thing. I felt like I just needed to make it a lot more stable. And so you could see I duct taped the arms down to the body to make them stronger and so that they weren't bending all over the place. So it helped to hold it up. It gave it a little more like sturdiness, if that makes sense. Not really sure what happened here, but I lost some footage because I wanted to show you guys how I did this base. So I'm just going to kind of freeze on this for a second. The little green ring that you see is a wreath frame. You could get them anywhere. Walmart sells them. Michael's, any craft stores, I'm sure Hobby Lobby and Joann's Fabric sell them too. And I was just kind of using that again to make it like a little bit more sturdy and give it something to balance on. And so I took these little plates. These are basically threaded rod mounting plates. That's what they're called. And so I actually pulled the hoop up a couple of inches, maybe about 5, 6, maybe even 8 inches or so. And then I spun one of these onto the rod, you know, up, one on top of the wreath thing, one on the bottom, back to back, and kind of sandwiched the wreath hoop in the middle of them. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I'm sorry I didn't get a better, you know, shot of this. But anyway, that's what I did because I wanted the rods to stick out of that a little bit and so that they could go into the ground and help hold everything up. So then once that was done, I put it on the lawn and I had added a couple of stakes around the ring, and so far so good. It's been pretty sturdy standing up except for The guy himself, he kind of keeps moving back and forth, and I'm going to show you guys a picture and show you what I'm talking about and how I fixed it. Okay, so I'm having a little bit of a problem here. The guy keeps leaning back. Thank you. Thank you. The neighbor. Okay, so we keep bending it back. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna solve this problem. I really don't want to have to put another post in it because I want to give the illusion that it's floating, but at this point I might have to. So he's kind of looking down at the grave right now. I kind of like the way that looks. What ended up happening is because it was a little windy the last couple of days, he kept blowing backwards and I kept trying to adjust him. I have a feeling I could make these tighter, just screwing them in a little bit more, and it'll hold the arms. I had to zip tie his hands together and because it wasn't holding upright, and ultimately I did end up having to add another pole, so I just put this green one and he's kind of propped up on it right now, but nevertheless I'm still pretty happy with the outcome. He goes great in the whole graveyard here. So if you guys have any suggestions or solutions, let me know. I would love to see your guys' DIYs too and see what you guys could do. So you could always email me. My email's in my about section, and also leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.